Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Nile, here with a recap of the 2013 Western Conference Finals, the series between the number 2 seed San Antonio Spurs and the number 5 seed Memphis Grizzlies. The quick turnaround seemed to benefit the Spurs as they carried their momentum over from the previous series and seemed completely unstoppable.
As Tony Parker gets into the paint, Kawhi Leonard lines up the shot, hits a three.
They took a big lead in the first quarter and they never let go.
Parker in the paint again. Leonard loves that right corner, hits another three. That's their sixth three-pointer of the first half.
Conley and Gasol led the teams with near double-doubles. Gasol had 15 points and 7 rebounds. Conley had 14 points and 8 assists. And Quincy Pondexter also came off the bench to score a team-high 17 points, including 5 three-pointers. But the Spurs were surrounding Zebo all night, and he finished the game with just 2 points on 1 of 8 shooting. For the Spurs, the three-point line was their friend.
Parker once again gets into the paint, finds Green, spotted up.
Green, Leonard, and Bonner had 11 of the team's three-pointers and combined for 46 points between them.
Conley drives past Bonner for three.
The Spurs had 28 assists on their 40 field goals, and all 14 three-pointers that they took were assisted. Tony Parker led the way with 20 points and 9 assists.
Parker pulls up. Tony Parker again. He's got 20 points, 8 assists, and it's the largest lead of the day.
This game was exciting from the very first play when Danny Green had an easy layup blocked by Mike Conley. That was then followed seconds after by Mike Conley's first foul. The Spurs picked up right where they left off as their first 3 buckets came on assist and they took a 7-0 lead.
He so wants to get involved offensively as they run the floor.
Both teams were playing solid defense and turnovers were an issue, but the bigger issues were that the Grizzlies were getting in some early foul trouble. Mike Conley, for instance, got his second foul 5 minutes into the game and was forced to sit. But the Grizzlies' overall defense was much improved as the Spurs did not make a single three-pointer in the first quarter. In fact, the Spurs did not score a single point in the last 4 minutes of that quarter, but still didn't give up that lead. At least not into the second quarter. Speaking of the second quarter, Mike Conley got his third foul with 5 minutes left and was forced to sit the rest of the half and ended up playing a total of only 8 minutes in that first half. After he went out, the Spurs managed to get hot from three-point range and ended up building a 16-point lead.
Straight field goals. As Leonard spots up and hits a three. Kawhi Leonard from downtown. Parker to the basket. Kicks it out to Green. Green launches a three. That's good.
Memphis fought back in the second half, erasing what was at one time an 18-point deficit, sending the game into overtime.
Conley drives the floater with the right hand. He puts it in.
Randolph and Gasol both had double-doubles, combining for 27 points and 32 rebounds.
Randolph gets in deep, forces it up, count it. And
Conley and Bayless tied to lead the team with 18 points each. It just wasn't enough as every single Spurs player who got on the field scored points and every single starter scored 11 or more points. Parker led the way with 15 points and a career-high 18 assists.
Did their games. I think they stand for all the right things. I just don't think they have the weapons as Ginobili.
The series shifted back to Memphis and the Grizzlies came out strong. At one point in the game, they led by 18 points.
And Diaw releases down the other end. Blocked by Prince.
This time, the Spurs had to fight back for the deficit, and once again, the series went into overtime, where once again, Tim Duncan took over. Mike Conley led the Grizzlies with 20 points, while Zebo and Gasol both had double-doubles, combining for 30 points and 29 rebounds.
And in overtime, they're allowed to look at out-of-bounds plays. Gasol throws it down!
It just wasn't enough to overcome the Spurs' veteran leaders. Parker led the way with 26 points, Duncan had a double-double with 24 points and 10 rebounds, and Ginobili came off the bench to add 19 as the Spurs take a stranglehold on this series. Tony Parker scored 37 points in this game. To put that in perspective, the entire Memphis starting five scored a total of 48 points. So if you take out Gasol, who led all starters with 14 points, Tony Parker scored the Memphis's entire starting lineup.
Trying to shoot. Parker backdoor again.
Quincy Pondexter came off the bench to lead the Grizzlies with 22 points, but it just wasn't enough as the Spurs continued to assert their dominance and were able to finish off the Grizzlies in Game 4, advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2007, and this is the first time that the Spurs have swept the Conference Finals since 1999 when they beat Portland 4 games to nothing.
Leonard with the steal. Parker back to Duncan.